Picture this scenario. Someone walks into your business and presents you with a devastating invoice stating that you are now £5 billion worse off and have lost 50,000 jobs. This nightmare situation captures exactly what British business leaders think about Angela Rayner's Employment Rights Bill, which critics have sarcastically renamed the Unemployment Bill. Today, British businesses are expressing outrage at levels not seen since someone first suggested putting pineapple on pizza. The Conservative opposition has responded in their typical fashion when out of power by drafting strongly worded correspondence. Shadow Business Secretary Andrew Griffith has written what amounts to a political distress signal to British businesses, essentially pleading for their support against this legislation. The situation resembles watching someone attempt to reconcile with an ex-partner by enlisting all their mutual friends to intervene. Except here, the former relationship represents the British economy and the friends are business owners across the nation. Before examining why businesses believe they are being led toward economic disaster through this legislative sleepwalking, let us analyze the actual contents of this controversial bill. Angela Rayner's employment rights legislation reads like a compilation of business owner nightmares. The elimination of zero-hours contracts tops the list, which depending on your perspective represents either essential worker protection or economic destruction comparable to Marmite, but involving spreadsheets. And employment tribunal threats. The bill strengthens redundancy protections and expands flexible working arrangements, apparently building on our collective work-from-home experiences during recent years. Most concerning for businesses, ministers gain authority to represent employees in employment tribunals even when workers never requested such assistance. This creates a scenario where the government fights workplace battles on behalf of employees, transforming the entire UK economy into a supervised playground. The legislation extends beyond employment protections to include traditional union empowerment measures. It repeals conservative trade union restrictions, making industrial action more accessible while establishing automatic union funding for the Labour Party. This convenient arrangement makes donations from their largest supporters considerably easier. Lord Karen Billamoria, the Cobra beer entrepreneur, warns this legislation resurrects 1970s economic policies when Britain earned the unfortunate designation as Europe's sick man. The 70s were notable for questionable fashion decisions and industrial disputes lasting longer than celebrity marriages, not economic prosperity. Luke Johnson from Pizza Express has adopted apocalyptic language, comparing the situation to Britain's humiliating International Monetary Fund bailout request. That experience resembled asking parents for financial help after insisting on complete independence, proving both embarrassing and economically destructive. If you are finding these business concerns as alarming as we are, make sure to subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Despite widespread business opposition, internal labor tensions are reportedly brewing behind closed doors. Chancellor Rachel Reeves allegedly attempts to moderate Rayner's proposals, recognizing that functioning businesses remain essential for economic stability. When questioned about limiting potential economic damage, Rayner provided the political equivalent of no comment by stating they regularly communicate with businesses. This response resembles claiming spousal communication when asked about marital problems, technically accurate but deeply troubling. The business community has reacted, with enthusiasm comparable to vegetarians attending barbecue festivals. Alex Veitch from the British Chambers of Commerce diplomatically warns of unintended consequences, which translates to potential spectacular failure in business terminology. The British Retail Consortium advocates maintaining 50% thresholds for strike ballots, believing industrial action should reflect genuine consensus rather than whoever participates on random weekdays. Luke Johnson has escalated his criticism, arguing that Angela Rayner cannot communicate effectively with private sector representatives and lacks understanding of business development challenges. This assessment, while harsh, accurately describes someone without driving experience redesigning highway systems. Labor's defensive response essentially questions how critics dare oppose worker rights after previous economic mismanagement. This represents the political equivalent of playground insults. They maintain positions on immediate sick pay and unfair dismissal protection, which appear reasonable individually but raise timing concerns. Implementing these changes now resembles renovating houses during hurricanes. Labor spokespeople accuse conservatives of hypocrisy for opposing worker rights after economic crashes, similar to receiving driving criticism from someone who recently totaled their vehicle, though with additional political manipulation and fewer insurance complications. This situation perfectly encapsulates British politics in 2025, where employment legislation becomes unemployment legislation, business correspondence transforms into battle declarations, and everyone debates 70s nostalgia like planning unwanted theme parties. The fundamental question remains whether this bill creates labor's envisioned worker paradise or the economic wasteland businesses predict. Before you share your thoughts on whether these represent overdue worker protections or economic suicide, disguised as social justice, remember to subscribe for continued coverage of this unfolding political drama. British politics moves faster than 0 hours contract workers seeking job security, so hit that notification bell to stay informed about developments affecting British democracy.